Hey everybody, welcome back. Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz back again with some more Goblin Slayer previews. Today we're going to be covering Red, or as I like to call it, That Good Shit. And I'm joined with Carmen, Zach, and Brian once again.
Yeah,
We're here.
And let's just jump right into it with the best character in the show, everyone's waifu, Milk Truck. Oh, I don't know her actual. What's
her name
is that what everyone actually calls her, or is that just what you call her?
Oh, I just call it the Milk Truck. Yeah.
What's the character's actual name in the show?
Cowgirl.
Cowgirl.
It's just called Cowgirl.
Cowgirl.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So
Jesus
this is what?
Christ.
This is childhood friend in good health. Yeah. Damn. She's in
Childhood friend in good health. Oh Jesus Christ!
I love this card game.
All right, let's try to salvage this video.
I hope this
Climax-
climax is like something completely different in English, because it's just brand new morning. This is in Japanese. I hope this is a like completely different name in English for no reason.
Okay. Okay, she's 1500. Climax combo, pay one, bounces back to your hand. When you play Brand New Morning, which is a standby, you can pay one bouncer back to your hand. If you do, choose one of your order characters and stand it. And she is a rest self brainstorm, and you salvage for each one you hit. So this is basically you standby out your higher level character, and then you pop this back to your hand and stand it.
Yeah, so you know how like they keep
Which is cool,
like where
yeah,
it's a card you just want to play anyway. Like, oh, this is self-rest salvage brainstorm. I'll just put that in my deck. It doesn't even have to have another effect. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, just like pay one, pop this to hand. You could stand that too. That's okay. That's fine. Like, it's just like, like I feel like this kind of design. It's very strong, but it's so lazy. You know, like. Why is it on something that you don't feel bad about having in your deck anyway? Like,
this is like straight up the best standby combo I think I've seen.
It's pretty damn good.
Because not only does it let you immediately stand your character, but then it opens up another spot for you to hit another standby.
Yeah, it makes your other standby.
That's actually pretty
bad.
nuts.
Yeah, so that you can sack into more standby with your twin drive lizard man.
Does Carmen, does
what?
Goblin Slayer have 8 standby?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
It's standby gate, yeah.
Because if there was an 8 standby build, this would be absolutely absurd in it.
No. It's not 8 standby. It's standby unless they have a promo in JP. I don't believe they do. I've never seen anyone play it. If it does exist. I
feel if it did exist, we would have seen it.
Yeah, I feel like it's standby gate is what people play, because they still play the Goblin Slayer layer 1, level 1, because it's dumb. But yeah, this is great. This is just a good card with like a dumb effect tacked onto it.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a good excuse to run 4 copies of this card and 4 copies of the Climax in your deck.
And look at this fucking art, dude. Like what? She's in great health. Look at that. Look at this.
Yeah,
Look
this
at this.
might
Very healthy.
This might be our
very
first S.
healthy. No, this isn't an S. This is
I don't
pretty
think I
good.
give it an S.
You don't think so?
I give it A plus.
Yeah.
A plus if you're having a standby. A otherwise, because it is just a self-rest salvage brainstorm.
I'm going to give it an S minus.
You really
That's
value
respectable.
that stand.
That's respectable. I can get on board with that.
I think the fact that it is a strong climax combo tacked on to a rest 1 brainstorm. I think that's extremely relevant.
I'll put it this way: if there were level 3s in this set, and there might be, I don't know. If there are level 3s in this set that have like cost efficient, like burn effects that are not that like pay 3 on reverse, burn 2, this is a lot. I might go to like S in the standby deck only.
Yeah, dwarf exists.
Oh, dwarf does exist.
That's not efficient though. You said efficient.
No,
Yeah,
you also
yeah,
have to play
efficient, yeah.
standby and shot on the same turn for that to work, which is impossible. So.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Look at the big swing low.
But
That's
no,
all
I
got.
think
Value.
I think this is really, really good. S for milk.
Yeah, but this is wild. It is lazy design, but like it exists, so who cares? Let's move on. Hey guys, look, it's a $40 bill. Just two big 20s.
Yeah,
Right there.
4,000 power, 4,000 yen.
All right, so this is the Goblin Slayer, the Goblin Slayer detailed strategy. If you have two other order characters, he sits at 6K. But wait, it gets even dumber. If you play the gate, you can perform one of the following effects. Note that you can't just like search and then like realize there's nothing in there, and then say, "Oh, I'm gonna do waiting room. It's fine." No, you got to know beforehand. So like, use counting. That's the hardest part of using this card, counting to 4. But if you have the gate, you can do one of the following effects. You either choose the torch, whether it's the draw deck one or the booster pack one, from either your waiting room or your deck, and you add it to hand. So yeah, so you know how Cosme is like a like what is it, $40, $50 card? Christmas Cosme, because she's like on attack, like plus a card. Yeah, this is even dumber, like in every way. S plus. This is defining the new meta. Like
yeah,
this card defines a new era in English Weiss. This is so stupid. So dumb. They have 2K counters. They have the priestess in blue that like gives you 1,000 on your opponent's turn. So this could sit at 7K before backup. Like, so you get to wall and plus without reverse. Big dumb. Big dumb. Yeah. So
Like, we joke around a lot on this channel, but this is legitimately like one of the most powerful cards we're going to have in English. This is like
I wasn't
Aaron
joking.
tier.
Yeah.
Like,
this is a new era.
this is incredibly powerful.
This is a new
In
era
all seriousness,
of level 1 combos in English
Yeah,
Weiss.
the fact that it can access the event from anywhere, and you have the choice.
the fact that it's 2 different events. You can get it from anywhere.
Yeah.
Sits at 6K off of gate.
Like I said, the hardest part of playing this card is counting to 4 and knowing where your things are. You have to track where your events are. So don't be an idiot. You can't just like search your deck, say, "Oh, there's no torch in here," and then go to your waiting room. I don't know. Maybe at locals people let you get away with that, but I don't know. If someone played this against me, I wouldn't let them search waiting room.
No.
If they whiffed searching on deck, I'd say, "Oh, it sucks to suck, brother." Like, but yeah, this is wild. Like, this is insanity. This is so dumb. So dumb. This makes Cosme look like, I don't know, like a cheap trick. Like that's terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
Just go to the money store, get some money,
yeah.
give Bushiroad that money, get this card,
Oh,
win games.
he's
I
also
hope y'all bought a goddamn playset because you're never finding singles in this card. Like,
Please note that this card is also very good because Goblin Slayer fits his art fits on the card on this one.
yeah. This is the only time.
Yeah, even the card knows this is serious.
And it's off gate. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh my
That's
god.
gross, yeah.
Dude, is there an SR of this?
There's an SP of this.
An SP? Talk about money, Jesus.
Yeah. This is.
You think it would be like Birdcage Yukina, like $1,400 tier?
No, because it's not Yukina. Yukina commands a price because Yukina is Yukina.
I had Yutei up here. Let me take a look real quick.
Yeah, it's not that much. It is expensive though.
The Goblin Slayer SP.
It's emanating backwards.
No matter how good of a card Goblin Slayer is, he can never truly be a waifu.
Yeah.
There is not an SP of that card. There's an SP of the level 3 that is the next card we're going to look at.
As an SR.
So what,
which
is
is
it
alternate
SR?
arts.
Yeah, alternate art SRs.
Ooh, what's the
Oh.
alternate art?
It's
He's
him
leaning
thrusting into the air, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. How much is the SR, Brian, before we move on here?
4,000 yen.
Okay, so $40. And then
That's the
normal-
SR. The normal one's like way cheaper.
Yeah, normal one is 2,500.
Okay, yeah. That's a lot for JP though. Like
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
staple base rarity.
Straight up though, like comparing this to like a Christmas Cosme though, the only reason Cosme is so expensive is because that set was extremely short run,
Yeah, that set was short
and like
printed.
no one bought it. But this is gonna be like printed like crazy.
I mean, I would hope so.
I mean, it's gonna be
right?
easier to get these.
Yeah.
I would hope so, but the card is still dumb. Expect to pay $30 plus for this card
Oh, I'm
if
sure.
you buy singles.
Yeah.
Like on release, and it's only going to go up. It's only going
it'll-
to go up because this deck
It'll
is going to
probably settle
place.
around 40.
Every Goblin Slayer deck runs this. Every single one, because of how dumb it is. It's just on attack plus, sit at 6k.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
dumb. So dumb. And the event that it gets you just manipulates your deck.
Yeah.
And it's a backup. So
Like we just talked
stupid.
about how good the milk truck was, but like, can you even play her? Is this just too
Yeah.
good that you can't
Well,
even
no,
run
no.
a good standby combo?
You run gate and standby. You don't run a true finisher. You run gate and standby. That's what they do. They run gate standby.
They run a 0 into a 1.
Yes, it's dude, it's Goblin
Wow.
Slayer.
I mean, I could see it. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, the standby combo is relevant.
what
all
do they
game
just
long.
use for their finisher? Is it just Musashi's and the on reverse burn too?
Not even Musashi's, yeah, but yeah, basically. It's just so
That can
good.
work, yeah.
I feel like we could just gush about this forever about how
Yeah.
dumb this is, but like again, Andy said it best. Like we do joke around a lot on this channel, but this is a new era in like
Mhm.
non-interactive combos. If you thought like I hear a lot of people say like Yukina Maguro coming to English was just like, oh, like that's a pretty like staple card and saying it's just like, okay, instead of caring about reverse, we should just care about doing something meaningful on attack. This is another level of doing something meaningful on attack. This is dumb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially because it walls too. That's so
Yeah, it's a
gross.
6K, it's-
Gross. Absolutely
everything.
gross.
Yeah, it does.
So stupid. All right, let's just go to the next card.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Goblin Slayer, Iron Shadow of Destruction. Level 3, cost 2, 9,000 power. During your turn, he sits at 11k. He heals on play. And on reverse, when this other gate, Last Breath, is in your climax, deal 1 damage to your opponent and put that character on top of their deck.
That's pretty nasty.
That's
It's-
not bad, yeah.
It sounds bad until, like, I don't know. You have
Until
to
it
think about
happens
it a
to
bit,
you.
yeah.
It
Like,
just does everything. Like, it's offensive and defensive at the same time.
yeah, heal finishers are just good. Like,
It heals you. It pings for 1. It makes your next attack more likely to stick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
it seems
12k.
perfectly reasonable as
Yeah.
a finisher.
It's kind of like just the good jack of all trades finisher.
really good alongside
That's kinda
the
what you're
trial
looking
deck
for.
one. Like, because the trial deck one's just on reverse. You can't play events. Pay 3, burn 2.
You know,
like-
I'd be really interested to just see like a good stuff build for Goblin Slayer
yeah. That's the 8 gate.
that ran the level 1 into this.
Yeah,
8 gates.
so
Yeah, that's a gate.
yeah, 8 gates. So that's 8 gate Goblin Slayer. So there are like these 3 main builds where people run like gate standby, 8 gate, or gate blue gate for priestess, gate pants. And like I don't know, I think 8 gate is like secretly the like dumbest build, and you run like the 3/5
That
heal
seems
event.
super consistent.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is really
that's-
good.
And that
It's
just
really aggressive.
and it goes right into what Goblin Slayer is best at, which is being like absurdly consistent all the time at every level and doing what it wants to do every single game. And in Weiss, being able to do what you want to do every single game is like unheard of.
Yeah.
Because the game has so much variance. I think
I think it really emphasizes the versatility.
Yeah.
Kind of what Red and Goblin Slayer, the character in Weiss, is all about. Just like you can grab either event without having to get a reverse, and then you have this finisher that just does a little bit of everything.
I just feel like this deck is like the more I look at these cards and we're going through them, like the red and blue stuff.
Mhm.
And the more I look at it, the more I think about it. This is just another deck like AOT that just rewards you for understanding how Weiss Schwarz works, like at a fundamental level. Like if
Mhm.
you were playing 8 gate, and it's just like, yeah, I don't have to rely on any gimmicks or anything. I just like know how to play the game, and I'm just gonna push your shit in every single game.
Mhm.
It's
Um,
Jund, dude. It's just Jund. You just play better cards than your opponent, and you get there.
Yeah, this
You
is
just spend more money than them, and you win.
this does at a glance, especially for newer players, look like very underwhelming. But I do think this is very strong. Like ping 1, make your next attack better. Very
For
good.
free. No cost.
Yeah, for free,
it
no
is
cost,
reverse,
and it's
that's what I have
healed.
to do.
Yeah, it is a
And it's
non-reverse
healed.
combo though. Loses to AOT.
Yeah, it goes to, going to 12 isn't bad though in Climax play.
Yeah.
That's better than average for something like this. It's no Mikasa, but I mean no one can be Mikasa.
There's only one Mikasa.
I'm gonna give this a straight A, and because it's off gate, like it's just a perfect 8 gate is probably the best Climax lineup you can run for consistency, unless you heavily rely on climaxes to get things done, in which you should play gate pants. But this is still very, very, very good.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's just very, very solidly good.
The only thing you can't do is dig for its own climax, and
Yeah,
as we'll later see,
I don't
there's
know.
another that does that.
We've been talking it up a lot, but part of me wants to give it a B too. Because, like, I don't know. As someone who's played a lot of Jundin Magic, I made the reference earlier. These jack of all trades sort of cards, you know, at a first glance they seem weak. At a second glance they seem super, super versatile and strong. But then when you actually play with them, sometimes you end up in this position where you're the jack of all trades, but the master of none. And sometimes you're going to be playing this card, I feel, and you're going to be really behind and want to heal, and it's just not going to be enough defensive to sustain you. There's going to be games where you really need a big push, and you're just not putting out enough damage. I feel like generally it's very well-rounded, but it's
Is
a jack
Weiss
of all
really
trades and
that
master
kind
of
of
none.
game though?
I feel like Weiss is definitely a very sacky. It rewards you for being sacky, and this card is maybe just a little bit too fair.
Yeah, this card is
for Weiss Schwarz.
This card is anti-sack. It's like on reverse, deal 1.
This is the type of
make
card that
your next
rewards you
attack
for.
good.
This is the type of card that rewards you for outplaying your opponent the whole game. And as much as I hate to say it, Weiss is a game where that sometimes just doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the variance is so high. But still, I do think, like you were saying, a good stuff's build. This is a good stuff's card.
This is definitely a good stuff's card, but
I can see where it doesn't get you there, right?
I feel like it's such a powerful, good card, and you're gonna try field it and think like I'm gonna win. You know, I'm try fielding my finisher. I better win, and then you're just not gonna get there.
I don't think this is a card.
And you're gonna be playing against Brandon, and he's gonna fucking.
ping you 9 times.
He's just gonna ping you 9 times, or he's gonna shoot you with Megami, and you're gonna eat 8 straight and lose. You
fucking
know? Like,
Prilia, dude.
Yeah, but I can
I
definitely see
can't
this
believe
card
we
doing
released
like
that
a
monster onto our scene. Brandon playing
Brandon with
Prilia.
Prelia.
Yeah, that's like. Ugh,
That was all your fault, Carmen.
It is
That
my
is-
fault. I mean,
That's all you.
Yeah, it is my fault. I do think it's on brand though, so I'm happy that he likes the deck. So
Yeah, but I can definitely see this Goblin Slayer doing the Mocha sort of thing where you put the card on top of their deck and your opponent eats the ping and then just cancels the big attack anyway.
yeah, I love when Mocha cancels on 3, dude. It's my favorite thing. Where I play my finisher and then it just doesn't work. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine that's how this card will feel.
I
Like,
mean,
it'll
this
be...
also does nothing against AOT. They just gear and shuffle their deck.
Right. I mean, they gear out of the way of the reverse first and foremost.
Yeah, first and foremost.
that's
yeah,
why
you're
you
right.
tech in elves at level 1. You don't even run the shot combo. You just put elf in the front row, and they can only gear once.
Does elf work if it's sitting in the back row? The anti-event elf?
Let me double check. It's the first card, so it should be easy. Yeah. It doesn't matter where it is. Doesn't matter
Okay.
where it is at all.
Well,
one of elf. So you run
That is-
one elf, two runners, 1 Musashi, 4 yellow cards. But yeah.
that's some package.
All right, so we're done with this, right? We can
Yeah.
move on. I think we've talked about it enough. It's cool. It's cool that they have these sort of like hyper consistent cards in the set, and that's sort of Red's theme.
I mean, I like it how they go to the extreme. Like, you have the dwarf in yellow that just pings for a shitload and super, super aggressive, and then you have something a lot more conservative like this.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely
Alright.
something for every player.
Next card.
Goblin Slayer, True Bond. On reverse Rize, clock. If this is on top of the clock at the start of your climax phase, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them on top of your library in the same order.
So this is the clock early play condition for Priestess 3-2. How dumb is that? Think about that for a
Yeah.
second. You get to know your triggers for Priestess. That's cool. Yeah, Priestess just whiffs. Or Priestess never whiffs, dude. It's fine. That's okay. Have this, and it's an on reverse Rize. It's a card you don't feel bad about putting in your deck. So after playing with Bunny Girl for a good bit, I'm definitely on this train of like on reverse Rizes are not that great. But you know, this is if you're gonna run Priestess, obviously you run 3 of this at
Right.
least. But I don't think you'd run more than 3. On reverse Rize, when you have access to other filter, which Goblin Slayer has access to in spades, unlike Bunny Girl, you don't need to run 4 of this in your deck. But it's still very good. And obviously the alarm effect is dumb for the combo. It just confirms your Priestess for you. It's just like the only way this
how's the Priestess work exactly?
on attack reveal top, if it's an event or an order character, your entire opponent's board gets -1 soul next turn. So it just confirms it. So if you're not gonna play, the only way this can fuck you up is if you reveal like a climax and you were planning to play 2 priestesses, in which case don't play 3, play only 2.
Well, here's my take on it. I think in like a Priestess build you run 4 of this. But I think you could still run this in like any build. I think the alarm effect is still, a little bit useful no matter what you're playing.
Yeah. It's always useful.
If a level 0 Rize is something you want, then that clock effect's just gravy.
I'm kind of down on it, but it's still a strong tool. I mean, you can always be like Zach and Maids and just like constantly cancel because of this card. Real talk, I'm never fronting a Zach Rize again. I'm just siding it. I'm never letting him mill with that card. I've never seen Zach mill a climax on his opponent's turn with an on reverse Rize.
I don't see what the big risk is. This works out.
I don't get it, guys. But no, this card is good. The fact that the alarm effect is valuable at any point in the game, no matter what, and it's a 0 with a relevant other ability. I think I'm gonna give it an A- because I'm down on the on reverse Rize, but this is lazy design again.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it combos with the Priestess is
It's like,
just...
what if we made a card that was good? Like, what if we just made good cards?
Oh, crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, I really think the value of knowledge, I guess, in this game, like knowing the order of your triggers coming up,
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
like
that's very
super
relevant.
underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of that in this set. I've noticed.
I can't wait
Now that
till
I'm
we get to
looking at it
Canary.
again.
I can't wait for Canary.
Yeah.
All right. Next card. Who's got this one?
Andy.
That's me. Ordinary Peace, Farm Girl,
Cowgirl.
Cowgirl.
Milk
It's just
Truck.
Cowgirl on the flavor text. See?
All right. This is the.
Oh shit! Oh, it is Cowgirl. Shit, Zach's right. But yeah, this is the. You're ready to pull out your wallets and beg someone for this box topper.
Yeah.
Anyway, when this card's placed from your hand onto your field, reveal top card of your deck. If it's a order character, put it into your hand and discard a card. And then when you play it, you can discard a character to draw a card. So basically, it's a double filter.
It's super filter, yeah.
Yeah,
so
so-
when you play it, you get to draw ditch, and then you can ditch draw.
Yeah. So this card goes even and basically gets you into your gate for level 1. That's a big reason why the set's so consistent. And guess what? This card's a motherfucking box topper. So get ready to pay like. This card's what? What is this card? Go to somebody go to Peng's site and search it. How much this card costs for like people in the Western JP meta? I believe it's 40 CAD. 39.99 CAD. Last I checked.
UUT is 2,500 yen. I'm not sure about like Western stores though.
That's as much as Goblin Slayer.
It is.
Yeah. So I don't think you run 4 of this. You probably run 3. So if you're on like a budget and you don't want to be safe and try to get a place out of this card, you can probably get away with grabbing 3. But the strength of this card for like people that haven't got it yet is you top check first, right? And if it's not a climax, whatever, you mill it, and then you draw ditch after that. So it's a 2-card dig for a climax, is what this card does. So it's not as good as cards like what is it? The 1-0 Amelia or the Asuna and Kazuto, stuff like that. Those top check 2, add 1 pitch one. Shut up, Brian. But effectively, this does the same thing, and it's a 0. So you can start digging for your climax at any point. And it's worth noting, we haven't got to the card yet, but Goblin Slayer is going to have the best level 0 Dirtle game that exists, better than AOT. So you have so much time to get into your climax if you're running like 3 of this card.
Mm-hmm.
This card's nuts. Like, just double filter on a stick.
Yeah, it's very good.
Super dumb. I don't think it's better than an A+, but in the context of the set, for consistency, it feeds right into that strategy. But this is this is so stupid, and it's a box hopper. Like, everybody who's playing Goblin Slayer wants this card. Like, oh, that's so bad. I wish they would reprint this as a, like, shop promo.
Yeah.
Because of the way English is, where everyone jumps on something that's good.
English is definitely a hyper competitive
It would be
frontier, you know.
It would do Bushiroad so well to release this as a shop promo and release that information within like a month or so of the set releasing. But they never will, because Bushiroad's dumb as fuck, and they'll never fucking do that for their players.
Hey, we love Bushiroad.
They'll never
Bushiroad's
actually
awesome.
care about the competitive integrity and competitive environment of the game, so I'd never expect them to do that. But they should release.
I'm just afraid I'm not going to be able to get my hands on this card.
Yeah, they should release a functional reprint of this card as a shop promo.
Not a functional reprint, then you could run 8.
Yeah, then you can run 8 of them.
Yeah, okay. They should release this card as a shop promo.
I'd run 8 of them.
It's very good.
No, you wouldn't.
Just imagine. Well, I can't because I'm not playing Goblin Slayer. But if I was, I would.
Oh my god.
It's just really dumb for this card to be a box topper. It's like this is.
Yeah, I don't think box topper should be like this good.
This is very, very good. This is the best box topper in English.
The
right?
fact that you'd consider like, okay, so how many box toppers are in Goblin Slayer?
5.
There's
1, 2, 3,
Elf.
4, 5.
There's one for every character. There's 5.
So
okay.
5 or 6? 5?
5.
So think of it this way: a double rare in a 4 out of 8, like 4 per box out of an 8 double rare, 5 per box out of a 10 double rare. Your odds are like 1 in 2 of getting it, right?
Yeah, you have a 50% chance of pulling.
If this is a box topper, that's like a 1 in 4.
1 in 5.
Or 1 in 5 that you're
20% chance. Yeah.
I mean, it's good for box EV for people who are cracking boxes. It's good for stores.
Yeah, but for players, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
Bad for players. Anyone who wants to be competitive and play this set needs 2 or 3 of this card.
I want 4. I gave it.
Yeah,
I slapped it with the S. I don't know if you saw that. I think I want to run 4 of this.
I want a fucking play set of this card just to have it. Like if I really do need to run 4, I want the option to do so, and I'm worried about my ability to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I'm straight up worried.
I'm not even worried about the amount of money I have to pay. I'm worried about people not wanting to give this up.
It's like the Christmas cost me thing all over again.
It's
people's going on global saying, "I'll name me a price. I'll pay whatever you want. Give me this card."
You laugh. That's literally what I did. I made a post where I said, "Wanted to buy 4X Christmas cost me, please. I'll do anything." That's what I said, and it took me like a couple days to get someone to bite on it. And I'm really worried. I'm really worried about this card in English, from a distribution standpoint.
Imagine buying into Goblin Slayer.
Oh my god!
Shut up, Brian.
You just wait till I get all 4 of these, Brian, and I play my deck against you, okay? And you never win again.
What is this, Exodia?
We'll see who's fucking laughing now.
Assemble the pieces of Exodia.
Assemble all 4 cowgirls in your opening hand.
But yeah, just if you can try to get a line on this card, do so.
Yeah.
Or if you're someone who is not super competitive and is someone who is looking to make some quick money after opening your boxes,
Yeah,
pull
sell
this
them
card,
to
try to
us.
flip it to one of the competitive players you know. They'll definitely
Yeah.
buy it.
This is it's gonna be wild when you crack your box and before you open a single pack, you've already refunded half the price of the box. This is gonna be a $35 card.
Yeah, easy.
Probably.
Easy. And a box is what? They go for like 70 these days? 68?
It's between 60 and 80, depending on where you buy it.
Yeah, so your box is gonna halfway pay for itself before you open a pack. That's so dumb.
Day one, I'd pay $35 a copy for this easy.
Yeah.
I'd
If
pay
you want
$40.
$120,
It's
if you want to make
important.
$120 easy, hit me up day one with 4 of these.
Yeah. Like
Seriously, I'm begging you.
box
Please do it.
toppers are so you could just open a case and not get a single one of these. Think about that. That's totally a possibility.
Yeah, I'm just I can't even.
Well, I think you're guaranteed like one, like
You're
it's
not.
pseudo-random,
You're literally
right?
not. No. It
It's
is
not?
completely random. You could open a case and never crack one of these.
It's not pseudo-random. The distribution of
The
promos?
distribution of box toppers is not. You could
I don't
open
really-
a case and not hit this card.
I don't think it is. Yeah, and I know Tyler opened his Bunny Girl case, and he only pulled like one of a certain promo.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, think if you get the box with all the cowgirls.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, your case would pay for itself pretty quickly. In nothing but this card in the Goblin Slayer promo, because you'll get 7 to 9 of it.
All right, let's stop gushing. I've gone through like a whole beer on this card. We need to. We gotta like speed this up.
All right.
All right,
Next.
Carmen, you're next.
All right, so this is the Goblin Slayer box topper promo. Goblin Slayer, an ordinary piece. The character opposite of this can't move to another slot, so it's a goddamn anti-runner, and it's a 3,500 on play. This is a pretty good box topper promo. Anti-runner's pretty strong. And it's only
Wait,
2K,
so is this
though.
this is the second anti-runner, right? There's another anti-runner, correct?
It's not anti-runner, it's a chaser.
Okay.
Mm,
I mean, it's fine for a box topper. I don't want to waste too much time on it. We can get to like the actual cards. I'm gonna give it like I'll give it like a B minus. Yeah. It kills a runner on its turn and then doesn't do anything the turn after, but like kind of warp your opponent's line of play. But your opponent just has to not be an idiot, and then it doesn't mean anything.
yeah, I think the fact that it does come down and kill off a runner is relevant enough to disrupting your opponent's strategy, depending on what you're playing against.
Well, here's a question. How would you rate Yoshiko from Love Live Sunshine?
This versus Yoshiko is not a contest. Yoshiko's a broken card.
I know, but like, how would you rate Yoshiko? Should be an A+?
Yoshiko
Yeah.
is nearly S.
A plus, yeah.
A plus, yeah.
Probably A+.
Nearly S. I think she's nearly S tier.
Mm-hmm.
I think that card's actually overstated. I think that
The card is very, very good. You're right,
yeah. I think that card's completely overstated.
but that probably makes this like a B in comparison.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe even like a C. I don't like that it doesn't. Don't like that it doesn't hold board.
It just dies on the swing back. Now, I mean, holding board. The argument for doesn't hold board at 0 is more relevant than any other point in the game. I think.
And I think this doesn't hold any value really going forward. Like the can't move clause on this really starts to become not very useful. Very
Again, this
quickly.
card is extremely good against bad players that don't understand how much of a commitment putting it is in front of something is. But all right, I think we're done with this, right?
Yep.
We can move on. All right, Brian,
Right.
tell us about this witch.
Holy
Holy
is it-
The
Well,
climax is called Secret
Jesus.
XXXX.
What?
All right, we have bewitching behavior. When
Yeah,
this card
is very
is played
bewitching.
onto
I'm
the
very
stage from your
bewitched.
hand, mill 2, it gets 1,000 power times the number of order characters you hit. When this card attacks, if the secret XXXX, what is it, a red stock soul,
I think so.
is in
Yeah,
your
it
climax
looks like
zone,
it, yeah.
choose one of your other characters and this, and for the turn they gain the following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, put the top card of your deck into your stock. That's a stocky.
only a stock charger.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, run this with the dwarf.
Yeah, actually, that could be spicy.
Maybe, yeah.
If that's a stock soul and then the combo just builds a fuckload of stock.
And you get to play witch titties. I mean, that's the biggest draw of this climax. Let's not beat around. Let's not beat around the bush, guys. Look at that climax, man. Look at that. Come on, man. I don't like this combo.
No, it seems.
It's pretty niche.
It mills 2 on play, so it is a climax combo that quote unquote does mill through your deck. Mills 2, build stock. Doesn't plus you. That sucks.
Are we sure that that's a stock soul?
It is a stock soul. I confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay,
stock soul.
Zach confirmed.
Then I think this definitely fills that specific niche. I think you run this with a dwarf, like a red-yellow deck. That generates so much stock, dude. You're generating 5, 6, 7 stock in a turn easy.
I would
on top of the 3 you already make.
I would rather play standby empty than play this.
Dude, fuck standbying it when I can just have 15 stock and hard play.
Standby naturally saves stock though over the course of a game.
Who cares about saving stock when you build 8, 9 stock in a turn?
Hey,
yeah,
man.
so if you tri-field this card and you get all of your reverses off,
you get 9 stock.
10 stock including
10 stock with a soul, yeah.
That's
pay for your fucking dwarfs.
It's other character and this. Okay, maybe it is just to see. Yeah, I'm not down on climax combos that don't plus hand.
I don't know. I'm gonna give it the B. I've never seen something that builds this much stock.
What's the formula, dude? What's the formula? It's like 2 stock is equal to 1 card, but only if I can't remember the joke. Something about bag.
It's a goddamn stupid formula. Just it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's a joke. I hate that this doesn't plus hand. I'm staying at C minus. It's not good enough.
Well, just hit your brainstorms like a good player.
And it only goes to maybe 6/5. That's not good.
You don't need it. You don't need a reverse. It's on attack.
Why would you run?
Oh wait, no, you do need a reverse. But whatever.
Well, what happened to the? I get a surprising amount of reverses on Kaida, and she's 5,500.
Shut up, Brian.
See? Yeah. There you go.
Don't use my own words against me. Stop using weasel words, Brian.
You flake.
Yeah, you're a weasel. All right. Yeah, fuck this.
A weasel and a flake.
This card has funny art, and that's all I got.
I think you're underestimating it.
I do think
as far as like ramp strategies go,
the stock charge potential is nuts. But
off the charts.
What do you do with it?
Play dwarves.
You play dwarf, yeah.
You just burn the fucking hell out of them.
You play dwarf 3 turns later. What do you do the next turn?
You burn them out of the game. I'm gonna burn you. I'm gonna ping you for 1 like 9 times.
You're gonna just skip from level 1 to level 3.
And what's your opponent gonna do? Stock swap?
Yeah, I guess y'all. Wait, never mind. Yeah, I guess you blind stock so many climaxes with this that you're gonna go to level 3 from level 1 anyway. So you might as well play dwarf. Maybe that's the play.
Yeah, you play this at level 1, and then you immediately get shot up to level 3, and then you play dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Then you win.
All right.
Busted.
You guys are joking around. I'm being serious. I think
but legitimately,
grossly underestimating this card.
Legitimately, I'd be interested to see how a deck with this card would play.
I probably will try it once that comes out.
I just
because
like the art,
I like stock decks.
This with dwarf, that's the first fucking thing I'm making. After I buy my 4 milk trucks.
Big titty hand is what this card is. All
Big tits tribal, dude.
All right, moving on.
4 cowgirl, 4 witch.
Witch, Enchanting Beauty. God. It's a 2k assist, and during your opponent's turn, it's a damage scry.
That's a standby target.
So it's a standby. It's a damage scry from the back row. Doesn't have to be front row like other damage scries do.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
This is fucking stupid. This you run this in standby 100% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're playing standby, you run this card. This is dumb. This is This is so dumb. This is a big dumb card. Straight A. Unconditional 2k power front, and yeah, you just don't die. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Oh, it's not even level 3s. It's just anything.
Yeah, that's cool card text. that's really cool card text. Yeah, buff everything in front of this, and also you're not allowed to lose. That's cool.
Like, if you field 2 of these, that's like an insane endgame.
I mean, yeah, I think you run 2.
Especially with some of the healing stuff.
If you're playing standby, you run 2 or 3 of this for sure. That's dumb. That's a dumb profile.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
That's dumber than Koga.
This set's dumb.
And Koga's also dumb. Like what? Okay, like comparing this to Koga in cards that exist in English. Koga is a 3/2, pitch 1, heal to stock, so plays for 1, and then has the act ability where you pay 5 if both players are at level 3, heal 4.
The thing is, in comparison to Koga, you're not usually playing Koga from hand.
Yeah, like this, you stand by it onto the field and it instantly has value outside of the buff. It instantly starts working the second it hits the board.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal standby target.
This is so dumb.
It's so good, yeah.
This is so stupid. Do any other like damage cries work from back row?
No.
I don't think so.
I feel like this is the only one in English. Yeah.
There's I love the damage cry effect, and there's so many times I've wanted to like tech cards into my deck that had that effect, but I just have to think to myself, this is just a bad level 3 that's gonna die when I put it in the front row and not do anything.
You're not allowed to die.
You just stand by this at level 2 into your back row, and they just don't do anything to it.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good. I'm like popping off about this. This is so good, right? Oh, I didn't know this actually existed because like I've only really played against Priestess, and I've played against like Goblin Slayer JP stuff. Because I feel like that's where the like Western meta's at. It's just like, oh, Priestess just like beats noobs, and like they're right. Priestess does like grind noobs up that don't know how to play against neg soul walls or don't.
God, imagine putting this behind 2 priestesses.
Shut up! Stop that right now. I think Priestess has a better card than this to put behind it, but
Standby Priestess.
This is dumb in Priestess.
Standby Priestess.
This is dumb in Standby, rather. I'm sorry.
Dude, I can't believe Brandon tried to get me to do something else tonight. He tried to get me to hang out with some other losers tonight instead of doing this profile. And I'm like, no, I need to know what these Goblin Slayer cards do. Oh, actually, this card has 2 souls, too. Jesus.
Yeah, you get to move this up and swing it for 2. You know, A+, and you get to play Big Titty Witch. And it still
cancels damage when it's in the front row.
Yeah. You get to play Big Titty Witch, dude. This card just gets better and better. Let's just stop talking about it. Let's move to the next card. This is dumb.
Andy, you're
All right,
up.
we're back to me on this one. Don't have hot. This is Angry Goblin Slayer. He is an early play.
Shouldering Karma.
If you have 4 or more order characters, he gets minus a level. One of the best early play conditions you could want.
Yep.
And then during your turn, for each other order character, he gets 500 power, so he swings for 11/5. Nice. Discard a card from your hand to waiting room when you play him. You can do that and search your library for an event card.
So I should
search for Dragon Bones.
Or dice.
Well, this set has a lot of event cards. Like
It does. As not playable events.
Not only does the Goblin Slayer level 1 combo work off of the torch events, but there's also
a lot of events.
To my knowledge, some very powerful level 3 events in this set as well.
The big other one that you'd want to search is a 3/3. If you have 5 or more characters with order, bounce a character in battle to your opponent's hand. You're one of your opponent's characters. That's the other big thing that you'd want to salvage with this, other than like a torch. I brought it up on screen for everybody to see, sort of a sneak peek, but I think it's relevant when we're talking about this card because like this is an early play, right? You're playing ahead into your level 3. That's a card. That's a card that you want to threaten to your opponent, like in the same way that like 2 Love Ruin stuff threaten money counter. That's a card you want to threaten.
It's like the condition is free. He swings big, and it also says discard a card.
Yeah,
so
you can just ditch a Climax.
You can filter Climaxes out before refresh or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
extra torches that you added to your hand, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like this Goblin Slayer is just it's that pedo that gets events but better.
Yeah. I think is it not the same? No. The pedo has when you play.
The pedo's pay 1
it's
stock,
okay.
get an event from somewhere.
Yeah, but this is similar profile.
Yeah, it's an early play that gets an event.
And
I
it's
mean,
just
come on,
free
if you
condition.
triple field Goblin Slayer level 1 combo, it's free. Just ditch a torch.
Ditch a torch to grab the 3/3
Like,
event.
It's like, because it's an on-attack combo, you're not gonna not get it. You just tri-field Goblin Slayer, get 3 fucking torches from waiting room or deck.
You just have other cards, yeah.
It's just like, you're gonna come back to your turn with a full hand.
So, yeah, I think
This card's
this is
really
a
good.
This is a good way to like ensure that you're threatening the 3/3 bounce back up. Because even if your opponent, even if you never play it, your opponent sees you get it, and I think that's something that people don't talk about and people don't value in Weiss is like watching
The threat of something can be just
threatening cards.
Yeah, threatening a 3/3 bounce. Like, it's just like, haha, you don't get to do anything to me because you decided to front attack. Get fucked, idiot. Like, that's very strong. Like, and people don't think about, like, the value of just threatening that that backup, you know? And this just gets it for you. This just gets it. Like,
sometimes
search
it's
your
better just
library
to
for
play.
it.
Sometimes it's better just to play into it than let your opponent just hold it over your head forever.
But yeah, still, that's still something your opponent has to think about. That's adding another thing to their plate, you know, that they have to deal with. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an A too. Just like an unconditional early play, very strong.
Do you think you could run a Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you think you could run sort of an event toolbox with this? Like run a bunch of a bunch of one-of events and then just have this clear them up?
I think that is the intent behind the card. But in reality, you use this to grab the 3/3 event to make sure you threaten it every game. Just because that's the other strongest one outside of the torch.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Put the chips down, Brandon.
Those aren't chips. That's ice from my mixed drink. I'm very drunk.
What do you think of this card, Zach?
I'm ready to move on to the next one.
What do you score this one though?
Oh, sorry. I was checking my bank.
Yeah, for all.
Did you pre-order all those milk truck promos before me, Zach? God damn it!
Promos, yeah. It's like, oh, I got to make sure I have money to buy 4 of this $35 promo. All right, yeah, we'll move on. So let me grab the name of this real quick. This is me, correct?
Yeah.
What is this?
Bursting with Vitality, I think.
Yeah, Bursting with Vitality, Cowgirl, the milk truck. Wow, 2 or fewer climaxes in your waiting room. -1 level, so you get to early play this with 2 or less. When it's placed your hand to stage, you get to look at X. X is equal to your number of order. What the fuck? This is 2 or less. Dig X. Okay, and then when this attack, this card does everything.
So good.
Buff up to 2K. Buff up to 2K. Another character on attack. Choose one of your other characters. She can't buff herself. Yeah, this is like an easily splashable card. This is dumb.
Pretty good.
Gets you into your gates if you're running 8 gate. Since you have no other way to get into your cones. So like every card is good. Every card is good. They're all good.
So
Look,
good.
You can see the titty through the shirt. Look at that on the left. Look at that.
I love how all the Cowgirl cards have, like, if you read the names, they have something to do with, like, vitality, like...
Yeah, she is bursting with vitality.
Bursting with life, like...
Oh
my god.
Like, oh, this is just...
It's like, it's insulting to anyone who bought, like, a set before this one comes out. It's like, haha, you're such a dumb idiot.
Yeah, look at this power level. Haha, guys, power creep.
enjoy Fate Stay Night, idiot.
Well, I think Fate Stay Night is good enough to, like, play against this, but...
Yeah, I feel like Heaven's Feel will be okay.
Heaven's Feel will be okay, but this is, like, another level.
This is just like, oh, just like every individual card is so many of these cards are so dumb. Like, how many have we looked at where it's like, oh, well, how many, we haven't looked at a single red card yet that was like, but what about this? There's always a, but what about this? For every card we've
at
looked
the beginning of this video when I said, AKA the good shit, you all laughed, but we're like 10 cards in, and...
But yeah, I don't know. I guess you run 2 of the previous early play and 2 of this. Look at X is strong, no matter, even if you hard play this at 3. And the fact that it's also helping your other characters that need reverse, like your 3/2 Goblin Slayer finisher, like your trial deck Goblin Slayer burner, like those cards need to catch reverse, and this helps you get there and also digs you for your climax. Wow! It's almost like this is a card that you want to put in your deck. Okay, I'm done looking at this. It's got great art.
I
It's a
think
good card. You can see the titty. It's a good card. Next card.
Well, hold on. I think
I'm just joking.
the big deciding factor would probably be, I think the Goblin Slayer, the previous Goblin Slayer, is probably better in a defensive build where you want to fish out
I think you just
like a
run
sack
both.
counter or a defensive event. Whereas if you're playing more of an aggressive finisher, like where you're trying to dig into your climax, this is probably your early play of choice.
I'm pretty sure you just run both of them, no matter what.
I mean, I think it just depends if how many events you're running.
I think
Running light on events, you might
I
not
think
need the
it's-
Goblin Slayer.
I think it's some sort of split between the two. Well, because the other one's unconditional. This is 2 or less. The other one's 4 or more.
Mhm.
That's like having both of those in your deck is generally pretty good. I say.
I guess
coming
so.
off of
I mean, it's hard to
testing
imagine a world
Bunny
where you're
Girl.
playing a Goblin Slayer deck without event cards.
I mean, Brian, you've also been testing, like with Bunny Girl. Bunny Girl does the same thing with Shoko early play and Kaide. At the
I
same
have
time.
yet to play. I have yet to play a deck with both of those early plays in it at the same time.
It feels very dumb to play both at the same time.
Okay.
Because like one feeds into the other, and then like one will play for one less stock. I mean, but even for 4 stock, these are both very stupid.
Yeah,
'Cause
but then
this
again,
card
I've just been
cantrips.
brewing memes in Bunny Girl, so
Yeah, you're bad.
Man, Goblin Slayer will have it all if it gets Dougal.
Oh, baby.
Dougal. Does Goblin Slayer have Dougal? If it had
Is
Dougal, Brian would
Bunny
buy it.
Girl a Schwarz
Probably.
set? Can you play Dougal
No,
and-
Bunny Girl's a Weiss set, right?
and Goblin Slayer in the same
pretty-
deck?
Here, I've got the trial deck here. Let me look real quick.
There's no way it's Schwartz. It
It's
has to be-
Weiss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has
it's
to
Weiss.
be Weiss. Yeah.
Can you actually not combine Weiss and Schwarz sets? Is that a thing?
No.
Not in standard.
Not
No.
in
Really?
standard, no.
I know it used to be a thing where you couldn't play Weiss Schwarz against. You could only play Weiss against
Okay,
Schwarz.
the only time
But
that comes up is when you're making proxies, so you make your proxies in the opposite one so people know they're fake. But yeah, let's just move on. More cowgirl.
All right, let's talk about Cowgirl, Unbreakable Will. Alarm. If this card is at the top of your clock at the start of your climax phase, choose one of your other order characters and return it to your hand. Rest this, choose one of your order characters, and that character gets 1,000 power for the turn.
Oh my god, is this a bad card in Goblin Slayer?
No, she can rest herself to give herself 1,000 power.
Yikes. Yeah, let me just wall up, guys.
at the start of your. Oh, how about this? Oh, hold on. If you want to open up a lane for standby, just clock this.
I
Card's not so
guess,
shitty after all.
If you,
Yeah,
if you have a good come and play effect, but the what is it? The Brainstormer bounces itself already if you're playing standby.
That's true.
I mean, hey, rest this to give 1,000 power is not the worst.
I don't know. It's pretty bad.
It's not enough.
Well, consider it this
Not
way:
enough.
if you don't use the alarm effect, and that's the only effect on the card, that's bad. That's a D. Yeah. Just straight D.
Yeah, that's
D for milk truck.
No red Fs yet, man.
All right. Next.
Cusack.
Cowgirl Peaceful Moment. On play you can ditch a climax salvage. On play you can ditch a torch salvage.
Wow, another stupid card. Crazy. You just put one.
You can
or
do
two.
both. You can do both, I think.
Yeah, you just put one of these in your deck and you just say, haha, look at my filter, guys.
Does this actually get run as a 1-of, you think?
Two,
One
think
or
it's
two
good
of them.
enough?
one or two, yeah. I think
yeah.
this
This
is
card's
this,
definitely
this is
somewhat.
definitely good enough.
You
yeah.
think it's worth playing over, like, the really busted drop searcher we saw earlier? I think that was in the trial deck.
Yeah, the trial deck searcher. I think that like
It gets scries and drop
well,
searches.
here's your filter engine. I think you dedicate 5 or 6 cards to filter, and it's some like combination of this card, the box topper milk truck promo, and the drop search, and you just kind of like run 5 or 6 filter cards. And if you're running the 1-0 Goblin Slayer, like I think if you're running 1-0 Goblin Slayer combo, you definitely run one or two of these for sure.
They're all so good, I can't choose which one I want to run.
Well, and that's what I say. I think you dedicate like anywhere between 5 and 7 cards to like these crazy filtering cards. And I think this is one of them. I'm gonna give this a straight
Damn,
A.
that's crazy.
It's straight A as well.
I agree.
All these like the fact that it can double filter on play, that's
Pretty good.
that's some crazy fixing.
It's almost as good as the milk truck promo itself.
All right, who did this card again? Was it Zach?
Me.
That was Zach.
Okay.
Next one's me. We
All
got
right, you got it,
Oh,
Andy.
boy.
You got the card.
Goblin Slayer. Foregone conclusion.
Goblin.
If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, he gets a level and 1500 power, and the following ability: the character opposite of this cannot side attack. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can move this to the empty slot in front of one of their characters.
All right.
This is the broken one.
Oh,
This is
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's an
Okay.
uncommon?
It's an uncommon.
Holy shit. Okay, so in English for you, this is a 3K level 1 that you play at level 0 that also runs to battle.
Mm-hmm.
So you run in front of their character. You're probably bigger than them. They can't suicide you, and they have to just crash into you.
They can't
know-
side attack. Yeah.
You know where
What
I
is this?
said this thing where I said welcome to a new era? This is the other part of it. This card turns off entire decks at
Yeah.
level 0. This is
Oh
dumb.
man, remember how people complain so much about like Fate to Bear Aaron and like
Yeah.
Mirai Ticket and all this other stuff? Get ready for people to start complaining even sooner. The second
So-
you draw your hand and
well,
someone
yeah,
plays this
okay,
card,
okay,
the
okay.
complaints start.
You know what's gonna stop that from happening? Goblin Slayer players being dumb and playing a card at level 0 that isn't this. Because the only way to beat this card is for the Goblin Slayer player to misplay and play an additional card for you to put something in front of. Because it can only run in front of stuff that doesn't have
You
an
know what the
opponent
most
already.
disgusting opener you could probably do in this set is? Like going first. This is what I would do. I'd play a runner in the front and field this to the back row.
That's
gross.
really dumb.
That is
like-
disgusting.
Like the level 0, like the
Like-
yellow one.
I mean, you're gonna know what you're playing against based off their mulligan. As long as they're not playing like Sunshine or something, and can like, as long as they're not playing Sunshine or Goblin Slayer and can trap you.
Okay, I'll put it this way. You know what's even
That's
dumber than this?
insane.
You know what's even dumber than that? This and a global 5. That
Yeah.
that turns off even more decks.
You can side it though. A lot of things will have like
Well, no,
3,500 beaters.
You can't side it. You
You
can't
can't side
side it.
The character opposite this cannot side attack.
Okay,
That's
they
why
trade
it's so
you.
dumb. No, they don't trade you because you're 35. And if they do
They're
trade-
35 because they play vanilla 35.
Okay, then play another one. You run 4 of this card in every single deck. You run 4 of this in every deck. Okay, big thing here, guys. 4 of this in every single Goblin Slayer deck, no matter what. I don't care if you're running a yellow deck. You run 4 of this card. This card is dumb. This card is broken. You run 4 of it. It is that stupid. This card will completely change the level 0 game. People will tech against this card. People will tech to kill this card. People will play around this card. This card will completely warp the entire level 0 in the English format going forward. This card is
Yeah.
stupid.
Come February 1st, the entire Zero scape changes.
People and you know what the thing that you can't even sync 0, like things that only sync zeros.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sync this card
You can't sync this. No.
because it's a level
Oh, man.
1.
You know what people are gonna start doing? You know what I think you should do? I'm right. I've been right all along. Oversizes are great. Like oversizes get way better when this card comes out. Like
Yeah,
like
and then
3,500 and 4K characters.
3,500 and 4K level zeros are like the new runner
so what this
because they counter this card.
what this enables is the Goblin Slayer player to dirtle the hardest as any 0 game that exists in English. Harder than AOT, which I think is the hardest dirtle set that exists out there. The best dirtle set at 0. They can cheat more turns at 0 than any other deck, or put themselves to 1 whenever they want by running out of your way and eating more damage. They have the best like control over their level 0 game because they just run like up to 8 runners. And it's fine. This is even better than that. This is insanity. This is next level.
Yeah, this card is super. S for super good.
Yeah, I've been holding out, but yeah, this is S tier card.
I think it's S plus. It's format warping.
Yeah, I agree with Andy. It is level warping for the entire format. This is a card that you need to build your deck around. This is like that you need to build your zero game around. You need to deal with it. Like, as someone who's been on the, I hate bringing up Summer Pockets every time, and by hate I mean I love it.
Oh my god, stop talking about Summer Pockets.
So
please, I'm begging you.
Having your zero game shut down by this card is the worst feeling thing in the entire world. This card can, on its own, like, basically kill your entire game plan at an entire level. 1/3 of the game is lost to you, or I guess 1/4. 1/4 of the game.
I don't think enough people realize like how much the game is going to change when Goblin Slayer comes out. It's going to be back like when Attack on Titan came out.
Like Attack on Titan Set 2, yeah.
Or whatever, like whenever, like... I know we didn't play back then, but we all have heard the stories of just like how Attack on Titan came out, and then like everything fucking changed, and it was like a whole new era. Like, we're going into that again. Like...
Well, yeah, you know, everything changed when the Titans attacked.
Yeah.
Everything changed when the Goblins attacked, dude. That's what happens.
This card is just insanity.
The whole game changes.
And like they have so much utility at zero already. Like, oh.
So does anyone want to explain to me why this card isn't uncommon? I'd love to hear it.
To make sure everyone has it.
So it's not like Milk Truck where it's $35.
Yeah.
Imagine if this was a double rare. Jesus.
I mean, this is a $3.
They could have made it a double rare.
This is a $3 uncommon on release. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
It might go to 5 after a couple months.
Thank the gods that this is an uncommon.
Yeah. So like if you're someone who's buying a trial deck and enhancing their trial deck, this is the first card you go for.
Oh yeah.
By a large margin. This is dumb. Dumb card. Format warping card. The drawback of having 5 or more cards in hand, if you whiff that at 0, you should just quit the game. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being real. If you misplay that hard where you have 4 cards in hand at like your 0 game, just like, I don't know, go watch 3-6 Cancels How to Play video a couple more times.
Well, hand too good, can't clock.
Yeah, hand too good, can't clock.
Well, what if this card is so good and you have 3 of them?
Where's that video on? Is that a?
Jeez, when you're right, Brian.
I know, right?
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, you can't try field it. You can only play 2. Only S, guys. But yeah, this is wild. Let's just move on.
Carmen, I think this is you.
Okay. What is this? Witch a Little Kindness. When this attacks, you get to choose your trigger. So look to it from the top of your library. Choose one, put it back. Put the remaining cards in your waiting room. Interesting note about that. So if you look at the first card and it's clean, you can just put it back and you don't have to ditch it. And you can just trigger it if you're just trying to trigger a clean card. Not a lot of people do that. They just like grab the 2 off the top. Anyway, and then it's also a bomb.
And it's a bomb. There's the bomb. Okay.
Wow, that's dumb.
Seems
more dumb
good,
cards.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That's 3 dumb cards in a row.
Jesus.
Hey again.
These are uncommons too, by the way, guys.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, this is a stupid card. So choose your trigger is super underrated. To dig into it real quickly before we move on. Choose your trigger is an underrated effect, especially if you're playing standby and stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be great with standby.
You wanna trigger as much standby as possible. Standby is best when it's triggered because it's basically free. You have a lot of ways to pay out in Goblin Slayer, and this is a bomb, so it's gonna clear its own lane.
That's disgusting. The
So,
only
like-
time I've ever seen this before is in ReZero with it. Oh no, they triggered a book. How tragic.
Yeah, so like
You could choose to trigger a standby. That's gross.
so
Yeah,
what
you
this
could.
can do is
Wow.
it digs you 2 cards on attack. Because you have to choose one among them that you look at. You can't like choose none of them and ditch both. You have to choose one. So you look at them one at a time. But yeah, you use this to trigger more standby. And that sounds sacky and stupid, but guess what? It is, and guess what? It works. Because that's how
This
Weiss
card's
is.
insane.
Yeah.
Oh, and Brian, I remember you were asking earlier. I think it was when we were in the trial deck with the
with the Goblin Slayer combo.
that if Goblin Slayer had a good level 1 bomb,
Well,
that combo gets way better.
Turns out they do have a good level 1 bomb.
So even if this doesn't trigger standby, it's a bomb and it's reversed, and you dig 2 cards, you're closer to a standby. So if this reverses something and is reversed, you just stand by into the lane that it's in. It has even more synergy. That's like even dumber.
Yeah.
God, I feel bad for the people who just like fast forward through this whole video just to see our scores.
Yeah.
You know, and they just see a. You know?
Yeah, people that don't listen to the like.
Not that anyone would do that, because our content's so brilliant that you want to watch every second.
It's true.
I would. I watch every video every day.
All right. Let's move on. Just a good card.
Yeah.
This is you, Brian.
Goblin Slayer, Glittering Blade. When you use the backup of this card, which is a 1-cost 2,500 power backup, you may pay the cost, ditch 2 cards from your hand. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters whose level is higher than their current level and put it into the waiting room. We got bad anti-change, guys. We got bad card.
Ooh, this is the first not A in a while.
So this is the only anti-change they have, as far as I know.
They have the bomb in yellow.
Yeah, they have the bomb in yellow. I don't think they don't have like a good backup. But again, most new sets don't. So Bunny Girl doesn't have it either.
No, they don't.
I feel like we're never seeing anti-change like ReZero ever again. Like we're never seeing Smugmelia again in a set. Ever. Like it's just not a thing that's gonna happen. Like the best we'll ever get is like the sack counters that are pay 3 overall, and like you send the card to stock and they don't pop the top. Like with intense drawbacks.
Yeah.
I feel like this is all we'll ever get anymore.
Like, real talk, at this point, I feel like you'd probably just be better off playing like the anti-change bomb.
I don't
like,
agree.
The cost is too steep on this, especially if it's not bottom decking or stock bombing or something.
I used to think that, but putting this card in your hand is almost stronger than ever playing it.
But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's unplayable or that
right.
You shouldn't play an anti-change counter if waiting room's the only one you have access to.
I still think you run this over the bomb.
Paying 1 and discarding 3 cards overall, I'd rather just play the bomb and let you hit me for 2, and then I'll just trade you back.
This card has mind games, dude. It's so good. Like, threatening anti-change is so good.
I don't know. I'm at the point where anti-change counters are only good if they're, like, you have a wall to actually get value out of the actual backup with.
Right.
Well, and Goblin Slayer does do that. So
they do.
It has value
that makes
as a
this
backup.
card a bit more playable, but doesn't save it from being a little lackluster still.
Yeah, I mean, in Konosuba, I feel the same way about Shaken Megumin. I mean, it's a really good card. It's this card, but costless at level 1. And I feel like a lot of the time, it's not even good enough to play. You run the card just to show your opponent you have it and deter them from making any.
I think that's
plays.
So much stronger than ever playing the card, though.
Right. I mean, and I never do play the card.
Well, really. Yeah, the thing with Shaken is it has the utility of being used at level 1 to protect your bunny girl.
Right.
Which I don't think enough people do. I think a lot of people just add that card to their hand and say, I'm going to sit on this till level 3 or level 2 when they early play. When the best thing you can do is to get another turn out of your bunny girl. If you can combo again, you know?
That's fair, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, what were you going to say, Zach?
And in Konosuba, you can just union to get those 2 cards.
Yeah, well, Ambush Union is a broken card that should be banned in English, so whatever.
Well, I mean, we're looking at Goblin Slayer, which looks pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
So-
yeah. Well,
yeah.
stop dodging the question here, Brian.
Hey, I need
You're
one
a
more card.
Konosuba apologist.
Max rarity's almost done.
But yeah, I do think this. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I think threatening anti-change is stronger than ever playing it. I think it's important for every set to have access to an anti-change counter, no matter how bad it is. I think it's a strong enough profile. The threaten of it is strong, forcing your opponent to respect it. But again, that's on you as a good player. So if you add this card to hand, and you're a bad player, and you don't have enough hand to support this card, then your opponent will say, "Okay, play that card and lose for me real quick."
Right.
But if you go into your turn with 6 or 7 cards in hand and you threaten this, then it becomes very strong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all contextual.
I'm not off base in saying this, but like, we're still looking at everything in the light of the English meta specifically.
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Yeah.
100%.
I think that this, waiting or anti-change backups are definitely good, and like if you have one, you should consider playing it. But I think one of the most prominent, most deadly early play in the format is like Mirai Ticket Yo.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm off base in saying that. And when they
Conan just
always
kills
have a
you.
Conan behind it.
Conan just fucks you over.
That kind of makes this card worthless. Yeah.
Like when I evaluate any anti-change, like if it says waiting room, I immediately value it lower because of Love Live Sunshine.
I do 100%
That's fair,
agree with
yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Like if this card were if it's sent to stock or sent to bottom of deck, I would agree with Carmen.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it gets that plus. I think.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna refactor based on that. I've been in JP land for too long. Love Live Sunshine is a massive problem. So, yeah, just a B. Can save you for that second swing for 3 though.
I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely it's not worth playing against Sunshine, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's definitely not a good feeling to discard your whole half your hand or your whole hand and then them just sack their Conan and scry a card,
Yeah.
and then their next Yo's better. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Fucking stupid. All right, next card.
Cowgirl, Whereabouts of the 2. It's a global 1K, and up to once per turn when you play an event, choose one of your characters and that character gains plus X power for the turn. X is equal to 500 times the number of your other order characters.
So wait, this turns your backup mill card into a 2K backup?
Yep.
That seems pretty
That's dumb.
good. Yeah.
That's really
Ooh,
cool.
Does Goblin Slayer have an event backup?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
The
just
mill
looked at
one.
torch.
The torch.
Does it give power? Is there
No,
one
no,
that gives
no.
power?
No, it's Mill 4.
No, it's mill 4, yeah.
Oh,
It's that I
okay.
scan.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if there was a backup event that gave power, that would
Dude,
just
a
be
global,
But this
a
turns that
global
into a
1K is
2K.
fine
Yeah, but this
already.
makes it give power, which is pretty good.
Global 1K is pretty good. In standby, maybe you run like 2 of this. This seems pretty good.
Ooh.
If you're
Oh, so
running-
when you
if you're
play the
running
torch,
gate
you
standby,
When you
What?
play the torch, you give. If you play a torch on their turn, you give.
power.
It also gives power.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts.
This is sick. This is really
That's-
cool profile.
When you combine
I
that
like
with
that, yeah.
1,000 power that it gives global, that's like plus
And like
3,000.
Goblin Slayer also has a
That's
bunch of
nuts.
events that you maybe want to play on your turn. And it doesn't have to be the character that's currently in battle. You can buff anything. So it turns your mill into like a split counter almost. You can pick a different character. You can play the backup when it's best to play it for in terms of like deck manipulation. Like if you want to mill out the rest of your deck and then buff something in another lane. That's pretty strong too. That's really cool. You could definitely only run it in decks where you're running like the backup event though.
Yeah.
Events app. I'm gonna give it a B minus though because it's definitely better than like Niche Plus. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B. I think it's
Yeah, it's not a B.
I think it's playable. I think the idea behind it is extremely interesting. The fact that it turns your satellite scan torch into
a
2K
bona
power
fide
backup.
2K backup. I think this would be really good, especially in standby builds too.
Yeah,
Because I think
Global
global
1000.
1Ks are pretty good targets for a standby.
Yeah, being able to protect your standby targets by giving power with your torch events too is relevant.
Like
Mhm.
in that build Carmen was mentioning, the like at the beginning of the video, the standby combo at level 0 into the Goblin Slayer at level 1. This would be a hell of a standby target.
Yeah,
to
if
pull
you're
out when you're
running
at level
gate
1.
standby, I think you
Mhm.
run a couple of this. That's really cool. It makes grabbing your backups pretty strong. Like imagine playing 2 or 3 Goblin Slayers and triggering a standby during that turn, and standbying one of this out.
Oh
Because
god.
you just added three.
Oh, you just
torches.
opened up your back row slot, and now you trigger standby, and oh Jesus!
They just sit at 7K cross turn. Oh my god.
Okay. Well, they only set it 7K if you have the priestess in the
And
back.
and your torches you added back buff them up to 9K.
Oh yeah.
Oh
This is
my
this is a
God.
global 1000. So yeah. So imagine the turn where, like I said, 2 or 3 Goblin Slayers, and then you hit standby off a trigger. Put this in the back row. They sit at 7K, and now you have a handful of backup events to play.
Oh Jesus!
That's
Oh,
pretty.
wow.
That's pretty gross. I think I'm gonna go right to B because of that line of
Yeah,
play
the
existing.
minus is gone.
Yeah, that's dumb. All right.
Wow, yeah.
Do they play that in JP, Carmen?
I have
Is this
no
a card they
idea.
play?
I have no idea if this card sees play, but this is really cool.
I don't know, like
It
why
only-
they wouldn't play this.
This only
This is
activates up to one.
disgusting.
This only activates up to once per turn, but that's still pretty good.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's all you need.
this is really cool. I'm
Yeah,
happy
for
that
sure.
card exists. Next. Can we
Looks like
actually-
Lancer from Fate's Day Night. We got the big game hunter. He made it. When this card
Fucking
attacks,
card.
at the level of the battle opponent's 3 or higher, he gets 6,000 power.
I hate these.
Pretty generic. Why do you hate him? Not that bad.
Can't
I
play
don't
level
know.
3s, dies to big game hunter.
Yeah, that's the big game hunter.
He's got a huge gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like these. Like
I
13K
mean,
is like 13K hit. 13.5 hits over pretty much any over early
It's a-
play.
yeah.
It's just that your
And then he
opponent
goes
has already
back
had,
to your turn.
it's just that your opponent has already had a chance to take some advantage of their early play by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like any anti-change bomb. Does the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, a bomb, yeah.
I mean, in using the Love Live Sunshine example though, this doesn't permanently remove it from the field. They just con on the yo back, and you're sad.
That's the trade-off. I guess you got to have your character too. Against any non-Love Live Sunshine early play,
Mm-hmm.
these are a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I generally kind of like these type of cards, but because Sunshine's such a prevalent threat, I'd probably want like a bottom decker or a stock bomb or something.
Yeah. C minus
But
for me.
I think it's all right still.
Yeah, it's definitely niche.
All right. Moving on.
Yep.
This me.
Yep.
All right. What is this? Goblin Slayer. Immutable stance. Look, it's a 2/2 standby target.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 10K encore.
Is this
Pretty
what they play?
good.
Is this what they play?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a good standby target. Hand on course. That's at 10K. Seems reasonable.
Yeah,
Isn't that understated for a standby target?
It's slightly understated.
It's
I
not
think,
as
but-
it's not as good as Liz, which sits at 10-5, but
Mhm.
Liz has zombie. It doesn't have encore.
Yeah, maybe it's not quite an A, but
True. Yeah, I mean, I think this only sees playing standby decks,
yeah. Oh, for sure.
so it hinders
Absolutely.
its playability a little bit. But
It's good that they have this card and that it exists.
I mean,
Um,
that's
considering they have
definitely your
standby
standby
and-
target.
Yeah, considering they have standby and it's a viable target, this is a thing that they want to exist.
yep. I think
Okay.
that's about all we got for that.
Yep.
Next.
We've got Witch, Invitation to Lethargy. When this is placed onto the stage from your hand, mill 2. If there was at least one climax among them, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower back row characters. That character doesn't stand. Didn't we already see a card that does this?
Yeah, the dwarf.
And when damage dealt by this card is canceled, you may put this into your stock. It's a cabbage.
But it's only 500 power.
I kind of. It's okay, I guess.
This is a very interesting mashup of effects.
Yeah.
I feel like they just don't play well
fine.
with each other.
They don't really.
Because, like, having it go to stock would be more beneficial if your opponent actually hits the damage and then goes up a level. Because if you're knocking your opponent up to level 1, then this could go away and be open lane, right?
More like the Hagami, right?
It would kind of be like
Yeah.
a little bit like that, where it's synergistic, but this is negative synergy. So if they're staying at level 0 and canceling your attack, this goes away.
The fact that it's 500 power just makes
Kind
it
of plays against it. And 500 power sucks too.
Yeah, I kind of
Useless.
don't like the 500 power at all.
I'm
Oh,
hesitant to
man.
call this card really bad, but I'm just gonna give it a straight D. I'm sure there's some use for it. It hates on standby, right? If you milk climax,
Yeah.
but
But then you have to mill a climax, and that's not even guaranteed.
it's only 500 power. It doesn't do anything. It's not even a bomb. If this
Yeah,
was
I-
like a bomb, I think it'd be fine.
I kind of don't.
I
like
guess
this
it
card at
generates
all.
free stock, maybe. I guess it's a D though. It's pretty bad though.
Well, it generates
Maybe.
free stock, but you have to cancel. It has to cancel.
Yeah.
Wow, you
So there's-
cancel
there's
my
just-
swing for 2.
There's just all these ifs floating around this card, and
It's
I
like, let's take 2 good effects and put them on a card that they shouldn't be on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying here.
just everything is just so wrong about this card. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of this card.
Yeah.
Next.
Moving on.
Which suspicious request? It's a global 5, and you can put this card into your clock and take a scroll of gate from where you're going to add to hand. Scroll gate is the 3/3 counter that if you have more characters, you bounce one of your opponent's characters.
Okay, the bounce counter.
That's pretty
yeah.
cool flavor. This is when she gives him the scroll.
Yeah.
In the guild. That's kind of neat. I don't think you
That-
run this.
Does she
Well, hold on.
does she kill herself to give him the scroll?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
knack.
have you seen the show, Brian? Jesus.
No, I haven't.
Oh, no, I don't think she does. I think she
No.
just, like,
Just hands
pulls it out of her cleavage and hands it to him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
It's witch. It comes out of her cleavage. Yeah.
I actually think this card's pretty good, though. It has early game value as being the plus 500 global, and then going into your final turn, you just gotta sack it off and grab your scroll.
I don't think you want to take damage at that point in the game, though, because the whole point of the 3/3 event is to not take damage.
Oh, I guess it's put into your clock, but I mean,
Okay.
Counterpoint, the scroll, if you are sacking this to your clock, you're negating an entire attack.
You can also just play the early play Goblin Slayer that grabs an event.
And I know how, Carmen, I know how you like using a Ricky to get to level 1. How about using a Ricky to get to level 3?
You can just do that with a Ricky that this set has.
Does it?
Yeah, it has a blue Ricky, yeah.
Of course it does.
Yeah, what does
Yeah,
Goblin
so
Slayer
this
have?
is just straight up worse in terms of game plan than the early play Goblin Slayer that you can use to grab any event.
Well,
So
I don't know. This is free though, and this has really good early game value.
the
I think
other
it
one
has-
is
I
also
think it has a
free. You
spot.
just ditch a card.
Yeah, I don't think level 5 is irrelevant. I think it's niche. I
Okay,
don't think it's
this
bad.
card goes to clock. You -1 no matter what. It's worse than the early play Goblin
You don't
Slayer.
give a shit at that point in the game. It's the end game, and you just want to stop damage.
Oh, it's just this. Why would you take a damage?
To stop a
Andy?
whole attack. I'll gladly take 1 to stop your
Yeah,
attack
I'm
for
with, I'm
3.
with I'm with Zach. It's D-. You're fucking stretching it, dude. Just play the early play one and grab whatever event you want. This is worse than that.
I don't think it's that bad, but
I
sure.
think it definitely has a spot. If you're running that scroll, this is like a real solid option.
Yeah, gross. Next.
Andy, this is you.
We got Goblin Slayer tied up, I see.
Soka.
That's what Hot Seat says.
Wait,
I'm
isn't that
serious.
isn't
actually what
that
it
the
says.
thing? Isn't that flavor text too? Soka.
Property.
I think so.
Anyway, 002500. At the beginning of your on-score step, if you have no rested characters in your front row, you can clock yourself if you do rest this. You have so many good level zeros to run in Goblin Slayer. Why would you want to clock yourself for this lackluster card?
So it's just bad clock encore.
It like saves itself, but like it's Goblin Slayer.
The fact
you're
that
already
it's-
like at a deficit of like bad level zeros to run.
Okay,
Right.
so you
know,
guys,
you already have
guys
too many
were
good
like,
cards.
oh, the last card, so good. Clock yourself, whatever. This is just clock yourself plus. That's pretty good. So zombie for clock yourself is pretty good.
The thing is, the last card. Well, in my opinion, the
It's
last
only
card
2,500
it did something
power.
unique. It did something like unique. It gets you an event at a time when you need it most. This card has more competition in what it does. If you want like a sticky level zero, there's a lot better options, I think.
Well, you know what else gets you for what you want? It's the fucking.
What was that,
early
Carmen?
play-
Huh?
The early play Goblin Slayer
What?
gets you anything. Never mind. So I think that zombie for clock yourself is pretty good because it's a May effect. You don't have to do it. Whereas a lot of the other cards like Kayaba or whatever that just save themselves mandatory clock yourself.
Let me ask you this, Carmen. I agree with you that it's a good effect, but do you think you could fit this into your Goblin Slayer? deck?
No, absolutely. You don't run this fucking card.
No.
But I C minus maybe. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Like I think the card would need to have like something else going for
It
it, too.
needs
Like
to
it had
have
another
some
effect or
other-
something.
Yeah,
Some
it's-
other
it's-
conditional power pump, maybe something that
just
sent it to 35.
Or if it like scried on play or did anything else.
Yeah.
It's just conditional clock encore is it's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But on a vanilla, it just needs to do more.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
See you, Carm.
Oh, is this me? I'm sorry. Where are we?
It's your girl.
Oh, cowgirl. Milk truck under the stars. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have 2 or more other order characters, draw a card, ditch a card. This is just worse than just play the promo instead.
Yeah.
This is just worse than the promo. It's a 1045. What the hell? This is bad. This is F plus. This is bad. Just play this. Just play the promo, dude.
Draw one, ditch one. Yeah, it's not even D. I think
Well,
it's just
If you can't get the promo, I guess
It's a
I
1-0.
still wouldn't
though.
play this card.
It's a 1-0,
No,
yeah.
I think just cut your losses at that point.
Yeah, this is bad.
yeah, you don't play this.
Next.
Goblin Slayer, Burning Arrow. This ability activates up to once per turn. When you play an event, this gains the following ability. When the battle opponent of this is reversed, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose one, put it in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. Choose 1 card in your hand, put it into your waiting room. So it gets on reverse, look to take 1, ditch 1.
So it's on reverse run clean Amelia. When you play an event.
When you play an event. So if you play multiple events, I guess that stacks?
Once per turn.
Up once per turn.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah.
But like if you use it as a counter during their turn, you get it still.
This is
If they crash into it.
Which I mean, if you combine it with a 2-1 that gives you 2,000 power
This is
or
way
X
too
power
fucking
when you
That's true.
conditional. This is way too conditional.
It
Carmen's
is.
right.
I
Yeah.
could never see myself running this card. I'm gonna give it a D just because, like,
Yeah.
if somehow you get that off, that's cool. But I don't know how you do that. How do you do that?
Yeah, Brian, I think we could come up with like 20 different scenarios where this works, but
It's
we're
still-
never gonna put this card in the deck.
No,
it's
never.
too conditional, yeah. All right, next.
Goblin Slayer, the Curse of Silver. Up to once per turn when you play an event, this gains 2k, and one reversion battle, it bomb decks itself.
This is fine. This is totally fine. This is the pedo, right?
It is the pedo.
It's
Yeah.
the pedo, but stronger. The pedo is a 5k, right? So this is a 75 on event play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
That's fine. I'm gonna
That's pretty
give that a C plus.
That's a playable card.
I like that. Yeah. You have to be playing the event back up, but like, it fulfills
wouldn't
that
you?
same role.
I
as
mean,
the
you said it
pedo.
yourself, Carmen. Every single Goblin Slayer deck plays Goblin Slayer.
Yeah. The problem is finding space for this card.
Yeah.
It's
I
hard.
think that's the biggest hindrance.
It's hard to
Yeah.
run this over, like, you're talking about running good stuff's red cards. The 1-0 bomb, choose your trigger. Pretty dumb.
Mhm.
You know, like if I had to choose between this card and that card, it'd be really hard, you know, for me to choose this over that. But I do think it's really interesting. It's unfortunate that this card will never see play. I mean, the Pedo isn't even good enough to see play in the scanner build, in my opinion. That card's not good enough.
I mean, I don't know. I think it could see some play.
I think it could be okay. Yeah.
Playable, but
It's just there's so many better
it's
cards.
definitely not like an easy include.
Okay, if you're talking about your level 1, you're obviously in red-blue because you're playing Goblin Slayer. You want to play...
No, we're playing Elf. It's yellow.
Anyway, we want to play the Goblin Slayer 1-0 combo. Maybe some number of bombs, and then the Priestess 1-0 that puts our characters to 7k on our opponent's turn. And on climax play gives 2 characters plus 1k. Because Goblin Slayer is a cool set that has a double married life that's also a global 1000 on our opponent's turn. Because that's cool. So, like, where do we find space for this card at level 1 is my problem. It is cool, though. Like, where do we find space for it?
I think in rating the card, though, we can't take that into consideration. I don't know. I mean, maybe we do. I think it's a fine card. It's just how are you going to fit it in? I think that's really a good point, though.
Mm-hmm.
7/5 is a lot better to hit than what the 6/5 the Pedo hits, Zach. What does that card get to? 7? I don't know. We've cut that card long ago in the scanner build because we couldn't use it. But this is better than Pedo. By a good
Let's
bit.
move on. Slide 69.
All right. Yeah. Next card.
Nice.
What is this? Cowgirl, excellent health.
Wow, that's some excellent health.
2,500 of it.
I mentioned this earlier. Every fucking cowgirl card has some sort of like innuendo behind it. Like, why do they do this?
Well, just look how healthy she is.
Oh,
Very
she's
healthy.
She's flexing for you. That's the epitome of health.
Look how strong she is from all the milk.
It's 1/125.
Calcium helps your bones.
1/125 in red.
Dude, do you remember those fucking ads from like when we were kids? Like the fucking like drink milk.
Yeah.
Ads and shit. Like
Got milk.
got milk.
Yeah.
Got milk truck. No, you don't. No one has this card.
Imagine this ad with this picture.
So what do we have in this set? We have a
I would have
1/1.
drank a lot more milk.
We have a 1/1 2K with a soul trigger that refunds itself. We have a 1/0 2K in blue. And then we also have this 1/125 with a soul trigger. That's a lot of choices for backups.
I mean, if you're playing mono yellow, I think you play the one that refunds itself. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you just play the blue 2K.
I'm gonna give it a C-. There's some deck that cares about this soul trigger.
It's a D for don't play this.
Yeah, D for milk truck.
Maybe
F for are you fucking kidding me? C-. Like you're gonna play this over the 2K that gives you your stock back?
Well, all your characters have to be yellow for that.
You're right. You're right.
Like,
Wait,
seriously?
Do all your characters
What
have
the
to
hell's
be
wrong with
yellow?
you guys? Doesn't this have a costless 2K?
Wait,
For
do
the
all
yellow-
your characters have to be yellow?
For the yellow one, yes.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah,
Yes.
they do.
Where do you see that?
On the card.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Okay, maybe in
That's
stand.
On the text that you
Doesn't
no,
make
no.
that card playable.
No. It does in standby shot. This is your backup of choice. 100%. This is your backup you play.
in standby shot.
In standby shot, yes, 100%. It has a soul trigger. That's important.
Dude,
Doesn't
Do all your
doesn't
characters
they don't
have
have that
to-
as well?
All your characters have to be yellow.
I guess if you're
To
playing
get
the
your stock
dwarf,
back. Yeah.
if you're playing the dwarf and you're not playing mono yellow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guess. You're right.
Well, the yellow one has a soul trigger as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
all of your
but
characters
all
have
your
to be
characters
yellow.
have
All
to
your
be
characters
yellow.
are
I guess.
fuck,
yeah.
dude. Why'd I give that card a C+ back then? I wish I could go back and change that.
All right. Let's.
I guess this is a D. I take it back.
All right. So, are we moving on?
Sure.
All right. I have to wait for Andy to change his thing, though.
I'm trying. There we go.
All right. Okay.
Let's talk
Next.
about this
Who's this?
Goku looking dude.
Is it me? Is
Yeah.
It who? Oh,
Yes.
this is okay. Silica on guard. Silica on guard's a good card.
Silica on guard is a good card.
Wasn't
This-
there another 1/1 earlier that we said
In the trial deck.
this
yeah.
is probably their standby target if they don't have a silica?
Well, turns out they do. So
This is literally silica too. It's not some sort of variation on silica. This is just silica's effect. If you
doesn't have a
have
cute
two,
doesn't have a cute anime girl on it though.
no,
As
it has.
a cute anime boy on it though.
Ooh la
Yeah.
la.
I don't even know who this character is.
It's
He's
Lancer
Lancer.
from Fate Stay Night. What a hunk.
Yeah, basically.
This guy is so much less cool than Lancer, dude.
Check out
Lancer-
his gay bulge.
Lancer pops back the hand if you reveal a 2 or higher. That's a lot.
Yeah, well,
cooler
this
than
guy's Silica. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Silica's pretty good.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, Silica's a good card.
Who is this character actually from the show? I don't
He's a
He's
guy
the
with a
witch's
lance.
I think
friend,
his
right?
actual name is Lancer.
He's the spearman. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Wow,
Spearman.
Spearman.
The frontier's strongest.
All right,
Pretty
Brian.
sick.
All right, we got Scroll of Gate. Counter 3/3. If you have 5 or more characters with Aura, choose one of your opponent's characters in battle and return it to their hand.
So this is the bounce counter we've been talking
Oh
about.
man, that's so
Um,
good.
so this
I thought you
is-
said it was a 3/5, Carmen. This is a 3/3.
No. 3/3.
3/5
You have to have
is a
5 or
blue
more
event.
characters. The blue
3/5
event.
is Yeehaw.
Yeah, the blue event is heal. So this is effectively money counter.
A 3/3 bounce counter? Come on, this
This-
card's insane.
This only loses to hexproof. Because you have to choose character. But
Yeah.
it is effectively money counter. 3/3 is on stat line for money counter. Money counter is a good card. I'm gonna
Well,
give it an A- just because it loses to hexproof. But money
It's a money counter. It's
no,
a money counter.
wait. B+ because you have to have a full field, and sometimes that won't happen. B+.
I was just gonna mention that with
Yeah.
people running more and more wind triggers, it's like
Mhm.
they just swing with their most important lane last if they think you're gonna do this,
Yeah.
and they can swing into a wind trigger and they can completely screw you. If they get a wind trigger on their
Yeah.
second attack, you can't play it.
I mean, you don't
that,
even- you
that
don't
does
even need a
warp
wind
their line of
trigger.
play, though.
What do you mean, Brian?
I'm saying with all the bunny girl running around, people are running like bounce on demand level 3s, which completely shut this card down. Like if your opponent plays this during their main phase, it
It's
bounces one of
still
your
strong,
characters.
though. This
Oh,
is
or
still-
even like Goblin Slayer. There's that Musashi that
The
bounces.
Musashi,
Yeah.
yeah.
This still forces your opponent to play one of those cards, though.
Right.
And
I,
you
I
can
like
grab
this a
it.
lot less though. The fact that you can't actually even play the card if you have.
Yeah. It has it. There was,
Your opponent could just play around it. They could just play over something and leave 4 cards on their field.
what
they
do you
could
mean?
completely
no,
choose to
it's
ignore
your
this
field.
card if they
It's
want
your
to.
it's your field. If you have
But-
5 or more characters on your field,
The
Has
Goblin
nothing
Slayer
to-
player.
has
Oh, yeah,
nothing
you're
to
right.
do with your opponent's field. They have to trigger
I'm not confused for a
wind.
second, but yeah,
Yeah.
your opponent can get around this. It's like I think that kind of holds it back a little bit.
It's still a
I-
good card, though.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
still
give
a good card,
It's effectively
but like,
money counter. Okay, so what would you? So this is slightly worse than opposition by the shield. What would you rate opposition by the shield? This is a tick lower than shield. In my opinion, I think it's equivalent in
probably give it like an
importance.
A or an A+ or something.
So yeah, so
Does
this is
Shield
like
have
a
any
B.
restrictions like you have to have X characters?
No.
It's just a
Doesn't work.
2/3.
It's still really strong to threaten this card. This is
Mhm.
important.
I think so too, but like
It's
if
money
I'm playing
counter.
if I'm playing just a good stuff build, like an 8-gate build, or if
I think this is the.
I just don't know if I could fit it in.
Oh, I would fit this in. This goes right into 8-gate and
You
gate
think?
standby.
I do think this is relevant.
I think
yeah.
you run this in every Goblin Slayer deck.
But this is a card that's not good on its own. It's not. You know what I mean?
It's so good. It's so good. Threatening money counter is so good. You just throw 2 of this in your deck, and it becomes.
I mean,
a
I
threat.
love money counters, but it's just I don't like that they can get around it. If they choose to play around this card, they can.
They can't though. They
I
have
don't
to
like.
have they have to be a set that's running wind or running bounce. That's a big ask. It's less of an ask in English because fucking Attack on Titan is a deck that runs wind, but that means
You're
they have-
naming like every relevant set.
They
Bang
have-
Dream can get a bounce on command. Goblin Slayer has bounce on command. Konosuba doesn't even give a shit. They just play Mega Man.
It's still a good card though against everything else. Like
Yeah, but that's why it's only a B and not like higher.
yeah. It's a
I mean, I'm not arguing it's a bad card. I just think it's like
I
not
still think you
necessarily
run
like a
it.
staple.
I still think you run it, especially because you can grab it off the early play. You just grab this. It's like, haha, I have money counter now. Eat shit, idiot. Like, have fun dealing
I guess
with
that's
that.
true. You can kind of do the whole the event toolbox.
And if they paid 2 stock to play a bounce just for you to not play this card and put another card back in your hand, I think that's a win for you. They didn't play something more threatening because they were afraid of your 3/3. Yeah, and then you didn't play 3 stock for it either. So, yeah, I mean, we could get into that for a long time. Let's just move to the next card.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's the other torch.
Let's talk about Torch.
Yeah, you can only play this if you have a Goblin Slayer. Choose whenever opponent's characters move to an empty slot on their stage.
So it's force.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's notably not a backup. That'd be stupid.
Oh yeah.
It lets you drag back rows to kill. I think in the decks that I see this being run, it's a one of where they run 3
TD Torch.
3 TD Torch and 1 of this, and I think that's worth doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, at a glance, I think that would be the ratio I would run.
Yeah, it's
Just
like
because this
like
is super strong. Yeah, like this is super strong in very specific scenarios that you can grab it in. It's just, I don't know. It's unique effect.
Too bad you can't pull Armin up.
Yeah, too bad about that.
Yeah, but wait, you
This
can't
is,
pull Armin? Yeah, you can't choose Armin. Fuck.
Yeah, because he's untargetable.
Yeah. Wow, I love Attack on Titan.
I mean, that doesn't make this card any worse, though. I mean,
No.
Armin's just really good. I'm gonna give it a B, just like I gave the other Torch, because it's part of the same package. I feel.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Andy, you get Canary.
Oh boy, I'm so happy I got this one. Okay, if there are 2 or fewer cards in your memory, you get to send this to your memory. It's a 1/0. I thought you had to pay for this.
It's a 1/0.
At the beginning of your main phase, if this is in your memory, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your library, put them back in the same order. Look at 2 cards from the top of your opponent's library, put them back in the same order. This card is absurdly good. I would give it like an A+ or an S even.
I don't think it's that good.
I said
not
earlier,
It's really
I
good.
think knowledge is power. I think the amount of insight, the incremental advantage you get from being able to set up your attacks perfectly every single turn, starting from level 1, being able to choose if you want to brainstorm, choose if you want to just generate 2 clean stock and cut right to your attack step.
That is really valuable. Yeah, I like this card a lot.
The incremental value you get off this card
I'm gonna be the contrarian.
is insane.
As
Well, I want to hear your
as
counterpoint,
expected.
so-
So
okay.
my big problem with Canary is not the effect, is not that it goes to memory, because a 1/0 that goes to memory is also good. It's dedicating slots to this card and getting this card outside of drawing it. If I want to play this card and I want this card to be active as soon as possible, so the second I hit level 1, I need to run 3 or 4 of this card to see a single copy. Because I need to draw it, and because all the cards that grab events are cards that are level 2 or higher. So I need to dedicate a lot of slots to it, and slots at level 1 are slots that I do not have, because I am running 4 Goblin Slayer, 2 Priestess back rows, probably a couple bombs, and also 4 events. And I have to play other cards in my deck. Where do I find space for Canary?
I personally see this as more of like a bonus. If it comes in your hand at some point, you can play it and you just get that for like 1 slot. I think I would try it as a 1/0.
I would
That's
never.
an interesting approach.
I think you want to hit this card as soon as you hit level 1.
Yeah,
I mean, you do. Ideally, yes.
Ideally, yes.
In the strength that Andy is saying, how strong this card is, and I agree that, like, I'm not disagreeing with you, Andy. I'm disagreeing, like, with running it in any relevant deck because I don't have space to run 4 additional events on top of the 4 torches that I need to run for my Goblin Slayer. Because I'm running Goblin Slayer in Gate because I'm not an idiot, and I'm running the best combo in the set. I would never run anything except that, and that's already 8 cards at level 1. And obviously you need to run at least 2 of that Priestess back row because that card's also broken. So that's already 10 cards at 1. Do I want to waste another 3 cards at 1 on this Canary? No, I'd rather run the bomb that lets me choose my trigger. I don't have space for this card. This card is very good, but I do not have space for it in a relevant deck. And that's my problem with it.
I think you could choose to make space for it. I think I'd like to make a counterpoint there. I think if
What
you're
was
running
your
the
cut?
8-gate build, or if you're playing the gate standby build, you're plussing so much anyway off your triggers that you can afford to have dead draws, maybe. What would I cut? I think you're going to have to trim from your other packages somewhere. Like, you probably cut a level 3, you probably cut a level 1, you probably cut maybe a level 0, I don't know.
Yeah, just take
But,
a couple forums down to
you,
3
you,
maybe.
you trim a little bit all the way around, and you probably run 3 of this Canary, because you only really need to see 1 of this, because the effect doesn't stack.
The fact that the effect doesn't stack as a hit against this card. Because
But it's Weiss Schwarz. If you have a card in your hand that's not good at a certain point, you can just clock it. And as we've said before, you have exceptional filtering power in Goblin Slayer. Milk truck filters too. The promo. There's the other cowgirl that.
I still don't think this card. I would rather have any other card than this. Like, this is a -1 for some amount of knowledge later, and I'm just not down with that. I would rather just play a bomb and crash it, also a -1, because by bomb also let me choose my trigger and traded with an opponent's character. Like, in terms of the slots that are available to me, I would never play this over the bomb that chose my trigger if I had additional level 1 slots, and I literally don't think I do. I think my
how many bombs would you run?
Maybe 2.
3?
Maybe 2.
I could see cutting 1 bomb for 1 of this. I could see cutting
never,
1 of your level 3s for 1 of this.
I would never run an event as a 1-of in a deck. Like,
well, no, I think you cut all over the place. I think you trim a little bit from.
I don't think
everywhere.
This card is good enough to make those hits to my consistency. To play 3 of this card, where I will play 1. I will play 1 of it, send it to memory, and then never play an additional copy because it has no value. I would just never.
That's fine.
do that.
I'll just clock or filter the other copy.
It's like not. It's just not as good though as literally any other card that you could use. Like, the fact that this is a -1 for the promise of maybe relevant information later, where the
-1 in a deck that pluses for free at level 1 with your combo, and you run 8 gates or gate standby.
Well,
I think you can afford the minus.
If you're talking about this effect where in reality you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, because that's the only thing you can act on. I guess you can act on your opponent's 2 cards.
You can.
You can. Seeing their deck, and you can set up your attacks optimally.
Playing a lot of Gun Gale, that effect is not as valuable as you think. In theory, very strong. In practice, not so much. In my experience, at least. And I definitely see the strength of it, but I hate it. I can't see running this over again if I had more space at 1, the bombs. Because it's an event, because I have to draw it. There are so many other stronger things. The set has free top check 2 on your deck from the alarm that you can just clock. And it's also a card with additional value. It's a character you can field. It's an on-reverse Rize. I can always look at the top 2 cards of my deck if I want. And I can just clock the card and draw 2 too. The effect is literally free. It's a card I've clocked. I would run the Rize over this card.
I guess that's a good point, but
like 100 times.
This fires off every single turn for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I can fire off the Rize whenever I want by clocking it. And like,
I mean, you definitely make some strong points too. I think we're both bringing up some good points here.
Yeah, I get why you love it, and I agree. Information is power, but also, where is the space for this card? I need to run 3+ of it, and I can only play 1 of it. And now there are 2 dead cards in my deck. That just seems terrible to me.
Yeah, I think Zach had an interesting approach where you throw one of these in your deck, and sometimes you find it, and sometimes you don't. And when you do, it just gives you extra information for the rest of the game. You don't need to make
A
that much
one
space
of
for it.
event is like, I think that's a classic trap in Weiss deck building. People running one of events. One of events are literally worthless. If you are running a one of an event, you should cut that card. That's bad deck building.
I think it depends on the kind of event. If you're talking about something like a warehouse or a Mill 4 event, where you're just kind of like having this placeholder for other like characters, I could see a one of, but something like this is a bit more focused, and I feel like
maybe. I don't know.
You're not like just filtering this and turning it into something else. It's just its own thing.
But again, I would
like
rather
with the own card's effect.
Weiss has so much variance. I would rather cut this card to increase my consistency in another part of my deck, like 99 times out of 100. Why would I run one of this over a third or fourth copy of any other card? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why I would make my deck worse to run one of this event that I need to draw. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me on any level at all. I don't think the effect
I don't
is
think
good
I
enough.
agree with the. I don't think I agree with the one of either. I think it's an interesting angle, but I think it's something I'd either want many of or none of.
Well, and I'm thinking about what events in my deck I want to run. 4 torches of some split and 2 scrolls. Like, I think that's it. I think that's all I have space for. There are too many good cards that I need to put in my deck that exist in this set. Is this card one of them?
I mean, and you can't run just all events either.
My problem is space. My big problem is space. That's my hit against this card. I'm gonna give it a B. Like, I think you don't have space for this card. It's cool.
Maybe you just don't run the scroll.
I would never not run scroll.
I could see myself cutting the. I had some complaints with the scroll. I could see myself just run canaries over scrolls.
I think that's a mistake, but you do you, Andy. I'm not. I think scroll. I think all forms of money counter and pseudo money counter are too strong to not threaten. But I think this card is worth messing with at the very least.
You think you could run? Do you think 8 events is too ambitious for a deck?
I would hazard yes.
If we're running the Goblin Slayer that lets us tutor events, running 4 torches, 3 canaries, 1 scroll.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
Perhaps not optimal, but it seems
the
like
tutor is an early play.
Yeah.
So we have to pay 2 stock to do it. Ugh.
I mean, I wouldn't be searching a canary with that. I'd be searching the scroll.
Yeah. Again, the fact that this needs to have the most value to come online your first turn at level 1 means you need to run at least 3 of it. That's too many slots to dedicate to this card that otherwise does nothing.
I guess the other thing too is you don't get the effect the turn you play it.
Yeah,
it's at the beginning of your main phase, so it doesn't kick in until the next turn. I think that actually is a little bit of points
bad
against the card, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of done arguing about this. I think we both said our piece. We both presented good evidence on one side.
Yeah, I think we can move on, but I think I'm going to keep my S ranking. I think there's some potential here.
Yeah. Next.
Let's move on. This is the last one, I think.
Whose card is this?
I think this is mine. Yeah. So this is Haversack. If you have no character with Goblin Slayer in your name, you can't play this card. Choose a Scroll of Gate or a Torch in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Just a 2/0 event that gets other events.
He gets either Torch or... What the hell?
Yeah, I think this card's redundant and useless.
It's an event that gets your other events that other cards get.
This is a redundant and useless event that you need to run too many of to be meaningful.
Yeah, it's maybe niche, but not
F for me.
You think so?
I'm okay. Going off what we said about Canary, I'm super down on this whole idea of you being able to run a one of an event. I think that's like the biggest Weiss Schwarz deck building trap of all time. If you think you can run a one of an event, just don't show up to locals. Don't bring that deck. Like, seriously, one of them event's so bad.
I think this is the event you would run a 1-of.
Maybe it's an extra.
Possibly, yeah.
It's a functional 5th copy of Torch or a functional 3rd copy of Scroll of Gate.
I
think
guess,
using
but like
that build.
So 1-ofs and Weiss are already generally bad for consistency's sake. They're strong when you need them, but it's a card that you otherwise would never care about getting.
Right, but I mean, with this particular event as a 1-of, it's essentially just a flex copy of something else.
You could grab
Yeah,
Force, you could grab
maybe.
No 4 event, or you could grab.
But why would I run this
Sack
over an
counter.
additional copy of the early play? This over an additional copy of the 3/2 free condition? I would rather pay 2 stock for a 9/5 body.
I mean,
and-
that's not unreasonable.
I think the real issue here. I think Carmen's right. I think the issue is Goblin Slayer has too many good cards. If this were
Yeah, where do
I
you have
definitely-
a
space for
lesser
this
set
stuff?
where you didn't have as many good options, this card could be really, really useful.
I
But
definitely
in Goblin
agree
Slayer,
with
where your
that.
filtering is through the roof, there's just no space for this. Despite the card being an all right card on its own, it just
I
isn't.
just don't
doesn't
like
make the
it.
cut.
I don't like even if this is the event that you could only run 1-of. I just hate the idea of running a 1-of an event. Something you have to draw. Where like I'll never forget how many Bang Dream lists I see that run 1-of buns. And I'm just like, damn, what an idiot. I look at those decks and I think, damn, like who built this shit? Like
Well,
and I don't
Buns
want to
is
be
one of those-
mean. I don't want to be mean, but like any event that is central to your game plan, why is there 1 of it? in
But
your
but this
deck?
isn't a central. This isn't central. This is additional copies of Scroll of Gate or Torch.
Mhm.
This isn't like Buns does its own thing. This is essentially an extra copy of multiple things.
I guess it does just.
That's like saying don't run a drop search in your deck. Just
It
play
does-
another version of that card that does
Okay,
the same thing.
I'll put it this way: I'd feel a lot better about this event if it said choose a scroll or torch in your waiting room. Choose one of the following effects: choose a scroll of gate or torch in your waiting room, return it to your hand. Search your library for a scroll or gate and put it in your hand. If it literally just exchanged for it, no matter where it was, maybe I would be able to give it a C. But as it stands, a little bit better than an F. The fact that this event can whiff, it's worse. It's worse than just an extra copy.
I'm not going to give it an F, but I think that's a good point. I'd give it a D maybe.
The fact that this event
I'd drop
itself
it.
can whiff, it's worse than just an extra copy.
If it was a 1-0, I'd also like it a lot better because you could grab a torch with it.
Yeah, the fact that you can't grab
Right.
it's a 2-0.
The fact that it only kicks on at level 2.
I think that's fair. I'll drop to D as well.
That's it for red, right?
That is it
We
for
done?
red.
We've argued
Wow,
a lot.
geez. That was a good color. Shit.
Yeah, red and
Yeah,
blue are both nuts. So
There was a lot to talk about there.
There's a lot of blue to come. But yeah, I guess we'll get into blue in the next one, right?
Who would have thought one bird could cost so much?
one bird-
little tiny bird.
One
could
little
cost so
tiny
much good
canary,
force.
a canary in a coal mine. That's a good song by the Police. You should go look that up. You can listen. You can jam out to that while you wait for us to put up blue.
You can jam out to that while you hit the like button.
Yeah, slap that.
Slap
like,
like.
Slap the like
slap
button.
like. Canary reveals 6 million subs. Yeah, that's it, right? That's all we got.
I think so.
All right. See you guys in blue.